Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is the debut author of the book Mandela Diaries, a memoir of survival, silence, freedom, and hope. No other than Miss Pamela Michaux. Welcome, Miss Pamela, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes, so I wrote this book. My name is Pamela. I wrote this book to help people. Daniel?
Yes, go ahead.
Amazing. I wrote this book. It's a memoir and a self-help book. I see that this book is basically a reflection of many people. You don't have to live the same story or life to be able to recognize yourself. Because since we are children, we go through small traumas for some and others bigger traumas. And this book basically tell about my childhood and how I overcome difficulties. It's not only a sad story because here I am. And I really believe that everyone has the capacity to overcome the pain and turn into purpose. But it's up to you to find the strength and to really want to push and have a vision where you want to go.
Miss Pamela, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world through your book. The title places survival and silence before freedom and hope. Can you walk us through the progression of these four pillars in your journey? How has freedom possible only after navigating survival and silence?
We all learn that silence is safer than speaking. In my home as a child, the same hands that could hold you were also the same hands that could hurt you. The house that will shelter you, it was also the house that silenced you. And we very often, especially as children, we obey our parents or we listen to our parents. Call it what you want, but there is the authority. And you have to understand that many of us are not always lucky to have loving parents. So, in my case, silence was safer than talking. I faced abuse and there was shame that came into it. And slowly, I learned not to talk because otherwise I will be in trouble. I will more having more beatings. So you have to break free from it to be able to fully be yourself. Otherwise, very often we protect the persons that are actually hurting us by keeping silence. And for me, was one of the biggest healing in my journey to be honest with myself and to be able to speak and make peace with the past and owning my past.
Interesting, Miss Pamela. Mandela is a term often used in Central Africa meaning white person or a foreigner. Why was this the right word to center in your title, and what does it reveal about the core tension of your story?
When I was born in Africa, I was the white child. And as you see, I am brown because the majority in Africa, in Congo, are black. My mother was black, but I was yet called the white child. And when I came back to, sorry, when I went to Belgium, I became the black child. They used to call me nigger, even within my family. So the book has double meaning because white child, a white diary, diary is a journal. It's where you write everything about what's happening, a way of releasing. But it's also a, a new page for me. And as you see the cover, one side you have the mask with my origins, and the other side you have my faith. Because in life, every one of us, we learn to put on a mask, meaning we blend, we try to fit in, we try to be someone that we are not 100% us, to fit in, to be loved by our parents, by our partner, or our family. And very often we forget who we are. So I found it very important to put this in the cover and for people to realize it's about time to remove that mask and be true to you. And that's where the big change is in life.
Interesting indeed, Miss Pamela. The memoir from is the act of breaking silence. What did it feel to finally give voice to a story that was once defined by its silence?
It's a very scary journey because very often the brain has a way of protecting you, shielding you, especially from pain. One of the points with me was I start deleting memories. I thought it was deleted. And the older I was getting, I was thinking, oh, it's behind me. And I didn't even think about it anymore until I got married and everything was fine. And I started having those panic attacks and not feeling 100%. Because when I got married, my husband at the time, I'm still not remarried, but I was married with him and he had two kids. And his ex-wife, the mother of his kids, started insulting me about nigger. She attacked me while I was pregnant in front of many parents in school. And it triggered something in me. It's like a deja vu and got me back into all the pieces that I thought I had forgot and wiped out from my childhood. So I had to revisit every piece bit by bit to understand, like, okay, this happened to me. And that's why journaling is very important for any of your listeners. Journaling is very important because if you can't be honest with yourself, with who you're going to be honest, and the revisiting and writing a memoir about it, it's very scary. Even when you journal about it, you don't have to publish what you've been through, but the fact that you put words and say, this happened, but it's also part of my past. So it's also part of me. And don't shame these things. You have to accept them for them to lose that importance into your life. Because whatever traumas you've been through, there is a moment where it will resurface. And very often, it's the moment where things are going actually good for you. That's what I don't notice for many people, Daniel.
Miss Pamela, again, thank you for sharing your memoir to the world on survival and the past. In the context of your story, what did survival actually look like on a day to day basis? What is more physical, emotional, or psychological battle?
In my case, it's all of them together. And for most people, because trauma, Daniel, it depends what you're used to. You have people who are beaten up, like in my case, endured sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. I mean, my pain tolerance is way higher. But then you have people, they had very loving parents, and the parents one time slapped them, and for them it will be a traumatic experience. So I cannot tell them, for you, it's nothing. If I compare it to my life, yes, but we have to stop comparing. And abuse, in my case, it started very early. And I realized it when I was actually writing the book, how bad it was. Because there were moments I said, like, only, no, we were quite happy because I have two siblings, they are younger than me. When I left Congo, I was 7 years old. I was promised a better life in Belgium. I arrived as the first child over there because I was the oldest of my mom and dad. And when I arrived there, I could already sense, without putting words into it, that that house was not a loving house. And bit by bit, I really started to see the true nature of my uncle and my aunt. A year later, my brother and my sister arrived. I became the caretaker of my sister at the age of 8. And there is a moment where I actually saw my aunt holding my sister's head and drowning her in a bowl of boiling soup. So those experiences, they shape you and they remove your childhood. Because I had to become the caretaker for my sister without even being asked that role. At age of 12, I managed to take my uncle and my aunt to court. I was removed into an orphanage. I started an investigation as I was a child of the state, and removed my sister and my brother out of that situation. So I had no luxury to be a child and play around like most kids. I had to work from 7 till 12. I remember arriving in the orphanage and starting to clean. And they told me, "What are you doing?" I say, "Because it needs to be cleaned." Because for me, that was normal. I had to cook, clean, do the laundry, every weekend working on the market, from 4 a.m. waking up until 2 in the afternoon. Then we will drive back. Very often they would lock me in a big truck where I had to sort clothes out. I mean, but here I am. I learned what is hard working, how to sell, and how to basically take care of myself. At
Miss
age of
Pa-
16, I lived by myself because I asked early alone living, and they could see that I was independent. So I lived by myself. I had someone coming from the government that I know that I knew from age of 12 from the center, from the orphanage, and she would check on me and see that I was okay, teach me how to manage money. Yeah, it shaped you. I mean, it shaped me at least.
Miss Pamela, was there a particular person, book, or belief that served as your lifeline during the darkest periods of your survival?
I remember seeing Oprah on the TV, and I was listening to her because her goal was to help people, and she had also a very difficult childhood. And there was something that made a shift in me and saying, if she can do it, because obviously she was darker than me. And imagine, even my own father used to insult my mother for nigger. So it was like having the wrong color was something negative. So the first time I saw her like speaking to people, helping people, I was like, I want to be like her. So yes, she inspired me a lot.
Miss Pamela, many survivors speak of superior self that emerge to protect them. Did you discover as a part of yourself you didn't know existed during this time?
You know, Daniel, it's like an instinct you have in you. When they say an animal has an instinct, because an animal survive in the nature thanks to the instinct. And we human being, we have also an instinct. You're not going to sit in the fire and look at the fire if there is a fire. Your instinct will say, stand up and run for your life. So there was something in me that said, this is wrong. I need to make a change. And that's what I did.
On the silence and voices, Miss Pamela, the silence in your title, was it imposed upon you by external forces or was it internal coping mechanism you developed? How did begin to break it?
It was imposed on me. And many listeners will, or readers, they will relate to it. Often it's passed on by generation. Every family has their secrets. And the problem with shame, it's like it's keeping you a prisoner. So you have to understand that sometimes the shame, I mean, very often, especially with abuse, the shame that is put onto you, it's not to protect you, it's to protect the person who hurt you, who's hurting you. You have to really make the difference between that. And that's why I say it's so important, Daniel, that people own their past. If you own your past, no one can tell you who you are, what happened, because you're true to you.
Miss Pamela, what is the danger of unbroken silence, not just for an individual, but for community or society?
What a voice can silence,
Yes.
what a voice can silence. Sorry, it's
What is the
6:30. Yes.
Yes, go ahead. So what is the danger of unbroken silence? Silence that did not come out from your mouth when you were still young.
Mm, it's for me, it keeps you prisoner. It's not only you're not true to yourself. You know, when you accept, I wouldn't even say accept, recognize what's happened to you and just write it down for you. Journal what's happened. That is happy memories, sad memories. Get it out of your system. Because when you keep past that hurt you and almost broke you, and for some, it it broke. I mean, breaks you because you will live in the past. You will not live towards the future because that silence keeps you still attached with the people, very people that hurt you and what happened in the past. By accepting or acknowledging it, you actually remove the importance from it.
Miss Pamela, how has your relationship with your own voice changed from the time of the events in the book to now, having written and published it?
It really changed, made a big change for me, Daniel. I mean, for someone to be able to take her guardians, her uncle and aunt with the father to court and going to an orphanage, you know, you can already see the character, and that's what I realized. And of course, I have moments that I feel weaker or I'm not 100%, but I allow myself those moments. And it's very important for anyone because they say, oh, you have to self love, you have to self care. But what is really self love and self care? For me, it's putting your boundaries, knowing what you love and what you don't. And then you can set your boundaries. But you have to be fully honest with you and not just do things to please people. I don't say become selfish, but be true to you. And that is what is self love. Because the first time I heard self love, to be honest, I say, what a stupid concept. Okay, self love. I love myself. But what does it mean? Self care. Okay, I take care of myself. But what does it mean? Do I take like this hour in a day where no one can speak to me and where I recenter my energy and where I just enjoy being with me? That is reading a book or listening to music, going for a walk, like minimum 10 minutes a day. Put all the noise away. Even the music, I love music, but it still works. Let your brain just relax and breathe. Allow yourself that. We are in this generation, I call it the TikTok generation. Oh, this is not good. Up, swipe. Ali, everyone is doing that. Swipe, swipe. It even became in dating apps, everything. We swipe now. Reconnect with people. Look people in the eyes. We are forgetting the humanity. It's not only good to be kind, you have to also put interest in people for you to be fulfilled, especially if the people you love.
Miss Pamela, what was the first tangible taste of freedom you experienced after a long period of survival? Was it internal shift or an external change?
It was internal. It was internal, and for one very simple reason. When I finished the book, Daniel, it was like weight was removed from me. I felt much lighter. I wrote the first edition with the help of a ghostwriter, and when I gave him the book, I didn't check because I thought everything was okay. One of my closest friends, like a sister for me, modified the book and made my book look nicer. But no one has the right to rewrite your story. So it took me 1 year to redo the whole book. And this time, my voice. No sugarcoating, pure, raw, and truth. my truth. And no one has the right to make it look nicer or make it look smoother. This is my life. This belongs to me. So the shift happened inside. And it's also the time where I came up, even though she was my friend, I said, this is wrong.
How do you define freedom now after your experiences in a way that might be different from conventional definitions?
If I have one thing to say to anyone, that you're a man or a woman, make sure you have your financial freedom and educate yourself. I dropped school at the age of 16, yet here I am, self-employed. I have my business running, I have employees. So whatever happened in the past, that's already gone. Focus on the future and be true to yourself. I can't repeat it enough. Every no you say to someone else, it's a yes to you. So if something doesn't feel right, why would you do it? Your body very often know what is wrong for you. And it's in relationships, it's in anything. You have that instinct in you. Listen to it. And for me, I'm religious, so it brings me peace. Because if we don't believe, what is life about? Whatever you believe is.
Miss Pamela, writing a memoir is a way of reclaiming your narrative. In what ways did the act of writing itself become an act of freedom for you?
Because you accept what happened and who you are. You should never be ashamed of your past or your origins. And for me, I went back to Congo after so many years, and I realized I need to speak up. I have a child who's 12 years old who thought like I was this invisible, I'm like Wonder Woman. Yes, I am, but I'm also a human being. And it's like my duty to show this happened to me. Whatever happened to you, your story matters and reconnect to it. It's painful, it hurts, but once you heal in a way from it, because healing is a journey, you accept it, the heaviness becomes lighter.
For someone reading your book who is currently in their own season of survival silence, what is the one thing you want them to feel or know?
It's okay not to be okay. You have moments where you're stronger. That's where you go full in. The days you are weaker, be kind to yourself. I have moments where I stayed 2 days in my bed, but I made sure the third day I was out. So be kind to yourself and know your values. Know what you're strong in. Know what is your heart. So you don't let anyone make you doubt of your own worth.
Your story likely involves crossing cultural, geographical, or social boundaries. What did your journey teach you about the universal human capacity for both cruelty and compassion?
Well, racism for me is taught. No one is born racist. You can see it with children. They don't care about the color. They care about playing with each other and just having a good time. It's when we grow up that we are influenced by our environment. Look, Daniel, if something happened to any of us that we have a loved one and something happened to them and they need an organ or blood, let's just pause and ask yourself, would you ask the origin where the donor is from, which religion he has, which color he has or she has, or will you be so happy to save your loved one? If I can make a cut here, my color of the blood is red. Huh? There is no brown in there. It's the blood group. So we are all connected in a way. And then we are taught to make a difference between each other. Shouldn't be.
Definitely, Miss Pamela. Definitely. In a word, diaries, or the word diaries, implies an infinite personal record. Why is it important for you to ground this story in the personal, diary like perspective rather than more detached retrospective?
Well, for me, perspective is everything, Daniel, because we we sitting opposite each other, example. If I write a six here, you will see a nine. So I will say to you, Daniel, I'm seeing a six. You're going to tell me, Pam, I'm seeing nine. Okay, let's change the seat. And we will see the opposite. Yet it's our perspective. Do we changed? We are in another position. And that's why I learned to let go. I stop having expectation of people. That's how we get disappointed. That's how we get hurt. Even in relationships, we need to calm down. If you can't live with a person in a certain way or their manners or anything that you dislike about them, you're not there to change people. People change for them, not for you. Even if they do change for you, after they will hate you in a way. And you're not there to save anyone. You are there to save you. It's like in a plane. Any plane you take, they say first put your mask on before helping others. Life is the same. And it doesn't mean you have to become selfish. But how can you help others if you are drowning? You will push them up for a while, but then you will get exhausted and completely go down.
Miss Pamela, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101, love letters and movie 101 review, and music 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101, mental health 101, and Bible verses 101, sex 101, and science 101 in its second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Pamela, having a journey through survival, silence, freedom, and hope, what does life of hope look like for you as an ordinary on Tuesday?
Oh, so this morning I'm in Paris now. So I will bring my son, will go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the owner of a beauty salon. I work also in real estate. And I'm a motivational speaker. So I prepare things for the coming week. In 2 weeks, I'm organizing an event for ladies, or in 2 nights, I have 155 guests. So life is good because I decide that it's good, Daniel.
Yes.
And we
And
all have to do that. Look for the positive. And some days I stay in my bed in my pajama and I'm working from my bed, and it's perfectly fine. So be kind to yourself and know what you want to do. And I learned something, and maybe you can tell also, when you love something, do it as your job if you can, or work towards it so you can change and shift and do this what you like. I would do certain things. Yes, you need money to pay your bills, but save that money so you can do something that you really invest, something that you really like to do. Because when you love to do something, it comes automatically and you bring joy into it. Some people is cleaning. I have friends, they are super. I mean, I hate cleaning. So I'm not going to start a company, cleaning company. I would do it very good because I believe when you do something, you have to do 100%. But it will be more of a work for me than working into beauty industry or into organizing events.
well, Miss Pamela Michaux, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your memoir and, of course, your business or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
You can contact me through Instagram, Mundele Diaries.
Yes, people, I support Miss Pamela Michaux because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering diaries to come. So, Miss Pamela, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.